Central Oregon's Republican state legislators hold a series of town hall meetings this week.
Oh, it's great. I love having so many people show up and show such an interest and great comments and questions.
This is very important to me to get out and have the face-to-face contact with the constituents. They're very interested in what we have to say. They have some very good questions.
Senator Chris Telfer of Bend joined with Representative Gene Whisnant of Sun River to co-host the meetings in 5 communities. I'm Steve Coffey with today's Take Five. Of high interest to those gathering at the town halls were the 2 tax increases passed by the Democrat-controlled legislature.
Retroactive was never mentioned. The fact that these are retroactive taxes back to January 1st of 2009. So if you've underpaid your estimates, look out, And then the fact that they're permanent.
And it just doesn't make sense, people, that in the state of Oregon, who depends upon incomes, that we were doing things to hurt businesses and not help create jobs. The only way we're going to get out of this recession in the state of Oregon is to create jobs. Payrolls pay taxes. We don't have sales tax. The majority of our money comes from income tax. Income taxes come from payroll checks. We have to have people on receiving a payroll to do this.
Telfer, the only CPA in the last legislative session, tried without success to dissuade the majority party from imposing a gross tax on businesses.
I'm going to use an example that Tiffany had an advertising agency, and they gross well over $500,000. But the money comes in and goes out to pay for their clients' TV ads, radio ads, print ads, newspaper ads, and so there's very little left. Maybe $20,000 left. But they're going to pay $50,000 in tax. So they won't have enough. They'll have to borrow money to pay the tax.
Oregon voters will have their say on whether to accept the tax increases or reject them. Measures 66 and 67 will be on ballots in January. The tax increases were approved to pay for a 9% increase in state government this biennium over the previous 2 years. Senator Telfer and other Republicans have said the tax increases and cuts to school funding were unnecessary if the state had only maintained its level of the previous biennium.
Total state budget is $56 billion. What the focus is on is the general fund, which is where the schools predominantly are funded from. The other 2 pots of money are the federal dollars, grants and stuff that kind of cycle through. But then there's the other funds, which is where we've discovered that these are usually fees that you're paying. And if the fees come in more than what the spending level was, it's excess money. We've been told by Legislative Fiscal Office that 20% of that $2.6 billion is fungible, could be used in the general fund, is what that means. That's $500 million. We need $733 million. We've come up with another over $900 million of cost-saving things we could do at agencies.
Representative Whisnant says Republican legislators were rebuffed in their attempts to draft a bill that would have stimulated private sector jobs.
And that initiative would have helped contractors. This initiative said that anyone that did a capital improvement on their home, added a bathroom, a bedroom, a driveway, or whatever, you'd get 50% tax credit over 5 years. That's 10% a year tax credit. So what's that going to do? That's going to put contractors at work. And we said businesses could do the same thing. If you added a new elevator, and if you did it for ADA, it was 100%. If it was green, it was 100% deduction over 5 years. So that would have put contractors to work, put money out there. And again, it was so frustrating because the leaderships would not even have a vote on this bill. They heard the bill and says, nah, this is a bill to help rich Republicans build swimming pools.
The reality is you put people back to work, they get a paycheck, they pay income taxes. That's where the money comes from in the general fund. It comes from income taxes. My experience with the legislators they all are good-intentioned people. They want to help Oregonians out. And we differ on how that happens. When I mentioned that these tax increases were going to cost 79,000 jobs, their comments to me were, but we've got a lot of Oregonians that need help. They need food stamps, they need unemployment. So I said, no, they need a job.
Both Senator Telfer and Representative Whisnant urged citizens to get involved, become educated on the issues, and to communicate with not only their own elected representatives, but also with party leaders at all levels. I'm Steve Coffey. Take Five is a presentation of News Talk 1110 KBND. Depend on us.